Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Wednesday market call. My name is Lee Honish. I'm joined by our Chief Operating Officer, Fred Solomon. How are you, Fred?
I'm good, Lee. Thank you.
Outstanding. Let's talk about last week. There was a lot of crap that happened last week, and let's take them in order, right? So on Tuesday, the interest rate went above six and came slightly down to where it is today, I think 5.75. Am I wrong?
Let me take a quick look and I'll be able to tell you that answer in about 10 or 15 seconds. Hold on. And the answer is wow, yeah, it came way down. We're at
5.75 isn't horrible.
yeah, but we were at six and a quarter
Oh,
last week.
yeah. Oh, yeah, completely. So they
So
brought it back down.
I have no, it's not they. It's not they.
Hmm.
There is no they in that statement.
How
What
is the they? Who are the they? Uh,
right?
and by the way, for anyone listening, I don't know this actually. Who dictates the interest rate?
Good. Okay, so great question. Long-term interest rates are based on the data in the economy. The data in the economy is GDP. Uh, the data in the economy is the unemployment rate. The data in the economy is CPI, Consumer Price Index. All of those things, it basically tells us how fast the car is driving on the highway. If you lose your job, it's hard to pay your rent or your mortgage payment unless you have a nest egg. So most people are paycheck to paycheck. So if they lose their jobs, God forbid, they are going to not, we're going to have more defaults. So the more job losses that we have in the US economy, the more defaults we're going to have on mortgages. So job loss helps interest rates come down. People losing their jobs helps interest rates drop. The economy, the Fed comfort zone for the economy is the between 2 to 4% annual growth. That's the Fed happy level. You know, anything above 2 to 4% annual growth, and we are talking inflation. Well, right now we are at 8.6% inflation, which means we're way above the Fed comfort zone. We're back at 1982 levels. So if the economy is growing too fast, what does the Fed do? They raise interest rates. If they
But
raise,
but the interest rate went up after the first mortgage rate went up. Who made the decision for the interest rate for loans to go up?
okay, I was just getting to
All
that
right, all
point.
right, all right. Cool, cool.
So when the Feds raise interest rates, what they're doing is they're raising the discount rate. The discount rate affects prime, affects your credit cards, affects home equity lines of credit, affects SBA loans. That's what the discount rate affects. Now, long-term interest rates will be swayed by the raising or lowering of the discount rate. But the real reason long-term interest rates go up or down is based on the economic data in the economy. So the fact that interest rates have come down a half a point, here's what I think is happening. And I don't know this for sure, but in order for the prices of treasuries, the Fed stopped buying treasuries last December.
Yes.
So basically, they let the market go wild. They basically were not controlling the market. Mom and dad were on vacation, and the kids were home by themselves, and the kids were having a big old party, and then interest rates went up almost 4%. That's what happened when mom and dad went away. So what's happening now is, in my opinion, I think the Fed is starting to buy treasuries again. I do not know this for sure, but for the
Would they
interest,
tell anybody if they were?
yes, they would. And I have a friend of mine, my buddy Doug, who started Beats by Dr. Dre, those headphones. He trades treasuries, and he would tell me, and I'm going to call him up and ask him because I didn't know the rates. First of all, I haven't looked at the rates because we don't get
I
any
watch
calls.
them. I literally watch them every day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an
I usually watch them, and I only watch them when I have, loans that I need to quote, but I haven't been getting any calls for loans in the last few days, so I haven't even looked at them. And then when I saw they were a 0.5% lower, I'm like, holy shit, excuse my French, but I didn't realize
you
it.
should send an email right now to right. Tell me I'm wrong. You got an opportunity, and they're a 0.5 point short.
Well, they may be a 0.5 point short, but we're still in
Oh
a
yeah.
situation.
Oh no, they're crazy.
No one's refinancing. It doesn't make sense. The only people that this benefits are people that haven't locked in and are buying a house, and they can get a 0.5 point lower rate than last week. So good for them. A 0.5 point on $400,000 is $2,000 a year, which is $160 a month cheaper. So it is a benefit by $160 a month. But who's buying a $400,000 house these days? They're, anywhere from 700 to $1 million plus, depending on the area.
I agree. I completely agree, especially here in SoCal. Even NoCal. I mean, everything is so ridiculously out of price that, and for those of you who don't know, we'll cover this, but BlackRock is thinking of liquidating. Holy crap, Fred.
That's trouble.
If BlackRock liquidates, wow, that's a lot of inventory. If they freak out, and I just saw this online the other day, if BlackRock wants to liquidate, that's 3% increase or 4% increase nationally. Like, it's crazy.
What about all the homes? I mean, holy cow.
Well, you could go KB. Well, all right, let's go to Wednesday, which is the second thing that made this market insane right now. Like, literally, the market melted last week and nobody's saying a word about it. All right, so let's go to Wednesday. It was the first time mainstream media, local and national, actually talked about a possible housing bubble. I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you go to Thursday when the Fed increased the rate 0.75 point.
Short-term rates. Yep.
Holy crap, Fred.
But
And I don't want to break this to real estate agents. You think people want to sell? Like, you have to be a specialist. Like, you've got to work pre-foreclosure or probate. Like, you've got to work a niche. You will never. You think traditional people are going to want to sell in the current market? I mean, that isn't enough. It's not logical. Tell me my logic's wrong, Fred. If you lived in let's say your house, right? Okay. Based on everything that's happening in the market, wouldn't you want to ride it out now for a while?
no,
I would get out at the top.
Oh yeah, because I see the writing on the wall. I mean, this could be a 3-year thing, 2-3 years, maybe. I mean, it just the what they've done in the past is they have always lowered interest rates by buying treasuries and lowering the discount rate, which has caused long-term interest rates to fall. And then the market picks up steam after
Oh yeah,
After the
after the arc, right? Like so you ride it to the bottom, you go back up. And I agree. I right now we're at the very top of the market. And I cannot stress this for everyone on the call. You are literally at the top of the market. There is nothing good that will happen over the summer. Can you see any positive way that this can be fixed over the summer, Fred?
Well, yes, in some degree, the
No?
answer is yes. And that is if we have the report come out in the middle of July for the second quarter GDP numbers, and
Right.
if it's less than 1.4%, then the Fed's they're gonna announce
They
the
don't have to
recession.
say, they don't, if we can get past the recession, and I agree with you, let's say that the next report coming up is non recession. Fred, come on. How's it not going to be a recession?
Well, it has to be less than negative 1.4% annual growth by definition. They're predicting no growth, 0%. That's what they're predicting. So by definition, it would not be a recession if that's the case. I think I think they're going to massage the numbers. I
Yeah, I
think
do too. I actually, that's the correct answer. I think they're going to lie, right?
I
And call
I
it
do
broke.
I think that's a very strong possibility. You know, Donald Trump says it best, unfortunately, fake news. So
This
I
time
think
it will be.
I
I
think
look,
they're
if it were me as president, I would lie about the numbers. I would. I have that much control because if he gets the word recession written on him, Biden's doomed. He cannot get reelected. And this is all about politics.
I don't think so. I think it's all about the economy. I think I think it's more about if they say recession, the stock market's going to get slammed. For the
Mm.
average investor does who has $300,000 in their 401k, they do not pay attention to what's going on in the market. I mean, it's crazy. They don't even know what their mortgage payment is. They don't even know what their interest rate on their mortgage payment is. I mean, there's a lot of people that are pretty much clueless to that information. If you were to ask them, hey, what's your rate? Hey, what's your mortgage payment? Hey, how's your stock portfolio? You know, how's your 401k doing?
Ugh.
I don't even look at it. I don't even look at it. I don't even know. I just pay it.
Ugh.
That's what you're that's so when they announce recession, then guess what? Everybody's going to start looking at their portfolio. Holy shit, you mean my portfolio came down 15% this year? If they had 600,000 at the beginning of the year, now they're down to 510. And then they're going to start paying attention. And then if they move their money around, then it's really going to destroy the stock market. That's my opinion. So I think we will have fake news.
Oh, I expect it. I not slightly, I completely expect it. Right. And I saw this with David Bartels. We were doing a live event, and I actually met somebody who was doing the local county numbers. And he brought me the report and he asked me, what do you think? And I go, it's a good telling of the numbers. Like you're spending them in a direction. Like I know this as an asset manager. You can spin numbers, and that's the problem. And I agree with Dr. Terrell Miller. Yep, the numbers and data will be worked to avoid using the R word. Why? I could. There's no question. Wait, you give me the numbers in the spreadsheet. I guarantee I can get it in the right direction. But the stock market, the interest rate, the fact that the mainstream media news, forget which side you're on, left or right, they're all talking about this crap right now. My question will not go quietly, which is how do you not see this affecting home sellers? Like, you've got to look for very specific niches right now. Like, you've got to go after a very specific group. And if you don't, you're killing yourself. I, it, I there's 1.5 million real estate agents chasing after 400,000 transactions. That is a basic math that I live with. Okay. So why not go very specific after a very specific group? Just that simple. Okay. Why aren't you talking to people on the street? Like, Fred, we could get back into the list discussion, which we've occupied 2 weeks with. But how do you not have a list of past clients? How do you not like what? Uh, you're being told the sky is falling, and the sky literally fell. Last week was so prolific in collapse. It's actually crazy to me. I mean, that's the truth, Fred. I mean, last week was so prolific.
It's a big week of data and what happened. I mean, the interest rates going up 1%.
Interest rate,
That's
mainstream media, Fed, all in 3 days. That's crazy. And everyone's blowing it off like it's nothing.
yeah, they're saying, oh, historically speaking, I see all the realtors, and God, please don't post this, guys. Um, I'm what I'm about to say. Don't say historically speaking, that interest rates are still low.
It's an adjustment, Fred. It's just an adjustment.
What you need to do
Oh,
is, and tell me what you think about this, but I would present it in a much different light. And I so want to, every time I see one of my Facebook friends post something about this, it kind of irks me. I kind of want to respond, but I don't want to be a negative Nelly. So I just leave it alone, and I just do my own Facebook posts, and I leave it at that. So here's the way here's the way I treat this. I think this is so important. If you have $1 million above the high balance loan is like 960 or 970, whatever. I forget what it is, but it's right around that number. Anything jumbo. God, there was this client of mine who we got him 4.125 for 0 points with a 10-year interest only option for the first 10 years. And it was fixed for 30 years with the option to pay interest only for the first 10. What a great loan. Okay. 4.125, a $3.1 million purchase. Amazing. That's freaking amazing. Okay. Now, when you get into conforming and high balance conforming are in the high cost areas like LA, Orange County, San Diego. They have some other high cost areas all around the country, but since I'm in California, I'm going to talk about those areas. So you can go a little bit higher, than the normal conforming limits. And conforming limits are 670 or whatever they are. I don't really pay attention to them, but it's right around that number. I should know off the top of my head, but they change them all the time, so I always forget. But it's so easy to look it up. So anything above the conforming limit, either it's going to be jumbo loans or it's going to be high balance conforming. So what I do when I send out my information, I just say, here's what the rate was last October. Okay, 2.625. And you have a $500,000 loan. Here's what the payment would be at 2.625. And then I take the current payment, all right, 5.75. That's what the current rate is. And then I show what the payment would be. And then I ask people, okay, all right, so it is a 3% difference, right? 3% on $500,000 is basically $15,000 a year. Divide 15,000 by 12 months, we're talking like $1,200 higher per month. Okay, $1,200 higher per month. Great. So the next question that comes out of my mouth is I show the payment difference. And then the next thing I say is, how will this affect housing affordability with a $1,200 higher monthly payment, right? You got to ask yourself that question. And this is the same question that I asked in 2003 when people were getting interest only 5/1 ARMs, and then I knew they were going to be adjusting in 2008. And I wrote an article in 2003 that said, are you holding a ticking time bomb with your mortgage and you don't even know it because of the loan that you chose by some wonderful loan officer that said you should get a 5/1 interest only adjustable ARM. Great. So I just analyzed what happens if the rate goes up 2%, what would happen to your payment? All right. And then I said, can you afford an extra $1,200 a month on your payment? And I'm going to go out on a limb and just say, you know what? I don't think you can, because that's my opinion. So if the average Joe says, I can't afford an extra $1,200 on my payment, then guess what? Do you see what I see? And the question is, do you see the writing on the wall? And the writing on the wall is, if you can't afford it, people aren't going to buy.
Yeah.
And if people aren't going to buy, housing prices are coming down. It's as simple as that. So the only thing that's going to bring this market back is if we go into a recession. Well, in order to go into a recession, we have to have negative growth, and we have
Well,
to have.
they have to admit it. They have to admit it. The report has to come out and admit it.
So that,
And I go back to Terrell on this, and it's all about statistics. And it's not that hard to lie about the numbers. My greatest fear is they're going to lie. We're technically in a recession right now. Like, it's happening in real time. I think last week was complete proof. At least the Fed got it. And that's where we are. This is about re-election and getting people into power. Can't say recession, Fred. How do you say it without recession?
here's what I would do. I would do a red video. And what I would do is I would analyze, on a computer screen, here's the new payment, here's your current payment with what your current rate is. And if you were to buy this same house tomorrow, this is what the payment would be.
Actually, Hannity did it on his show last week. And
Yeah.
I can literally chop it up. He figured it out to base medium, what the payments look like, where we are right now.
Yeah. And then I would ask the average person, if your payment went up $1,000 a month, would you still be able to make your mortgage payment? And then if the answer is no, then I would say, do you see the writing on the wall for home prices to come down? And if the answer is yes, then I would say, if you're thinking about selling, you may want to do it sooner rather than later. And then send that video all over.
I agree. That's probably what I'm going to go with for the rest of the week, assuming my voice comes back tomorrow. Let me say this, and we're going to get to the people here on the call. There are lots of questions. So first of all, if you want to be a part of Home Advocates, just type in Home Advocates into your computer screen. It'll take you straight to our website. Click on Beyond Coaching, and you will be a part of our group. Simple as that. Thank you.